Trader at techtrader.com. It's Wednesday, March 29th. These are the charts of the day. Really good day on Wall Street with really good technicals. I was pleased what I saw technically, and a lot of stocks are starting to emerge out of base patterns. Let's take a look at a few of them. Anvs, for example, broke out of a base, got up to a previous resistance and backed up in a very orderly fashion during February and early March. But look at that rebound in the last week. 14.75 to 23.89, a 9-point run, and it's back up against resistance from the September rally. But the overall base pattern going back a year is very constructive, and I'm thinking if we get through here, lots of room to run, first into the mid to high 20s, and then low to mid 30s. Apps, it's a swing we put on, and it's been moving steadily. Now today it had a significant move through some resistance and went from 11.40 to 12.24, up 66 cents at 12.03. That was almost 6% gain. Mine wasn't huge, but let's see if it picks up. And also, we have some resistance now coming in around 13 and then 13.65. That zone. We get to that, you're looking at 15 and 15.75. ARCT popped with a breakaway gap above the 50, trading 5.2 million, which is big for that stock. Matter of fact, we haven't seen a day like that since back in August of 21. But you can see, looking at the overall pattern, the large downtrend, the 1 year or 9 month base pattern now. And today it popped, and I think you're going to take a run at least these highs here. So watch the next day or two, 23 and 25 as targets. ARDX has been in a beautiful rising channel all year, and confounds me, I never put a swing on this one, but it was very cheap. It's gone from 49 cents to 466, a high was 72. Nearly tenfold, and up another 10% today. My target now is 6. BBIO, another big base, breakout, retest, partially or almost fill the gap and test at 50 and then bounce sharply off of it. Big engulfing reversal day there was a signal, and the follow through has been really nice. Today went from 15 to 18.90, finished 17.50 up to 47. Mine picked up to 11.7. I like it. We can get it up to 20.5. We're looking at 23 and 25.6. CRBP won't quit after exploding and pulling back just gently, forming a little mini wedge. Today it popped another 75 cents or 10%. The volume is light. This is a thinly traded stock, but it can fly if it goes. My targets are 9.25.5, 11.25.5. EHTH. Well, this Bitcoin related, I'm sorry, this is eHealth, not the other. EHTH. Been stair-stepping its way up, and it's been a tech traded swing since it broke out in January. It's doubled since then. It's pulled back, but take a look at today, breaking out of a wedge to the upside for 2 moving averages. Up 76 cents, that's 9.25%. Looking for a retest of the 10.5 area, then you're on your way to 12 and 15 potentially. NOVX, ENVX popped out of the rising channel and it's beginning to accelerate. Its volume at 18 million, and the stock jumped 22.6%. Next target is there at the gap in that prior low at 15. You get through that, 17.5.75. Intel, well, nobody's favorite. Intel in a long decline took about 7 months to form a beautiful base with triple bottom and double triple tops. It broke through today out of a wedge and spiked up, jumping 224, almost 8%, 87.6 million. I'm a believer now. After putting a swing on it, we're going to see 34 and 38 going forward. Kingsoft, KC popped out of a little mini wedge, exploded from 6 to 758, finished 740, up 130, a 21% gain. But two things come into play here: lateral price resistance and the top of the channel. It's a bit overbought short term, having gone from 383 to 758 and doubling. But I think the stock, if it consolidates, maybe another setup for another wave up. Next target is big resistance at 8.5. NAAS, we showed you this 2 days ago with a massive inverse head and shoulder showed up in big breakaway volume. Well, it certainly extended from about 5.5, 6 all the way up to 8.37, finishing 780 up 114. That's 17% gain on 1.3 million. It's thinly traded. Any consolidation or setup here would likely take us to the 910 zone, in my opinion. OSCR, well, yesterday was a monster day for it. Today was a beautiful inside day. Didn't back off much. It got down to 551, jumped to 667, finished 640 up 79 cents, a 14% gain. Volume was 26 million shares. Beautiful volume. We can get up to 690. We may have a shot at going into that A range. right there. PYXS Oncology. Well, broke out across some key resistance from June, July, August of last year, but just kept going. This nonstop move is zipped from 191 to 507, 150% pop in a week, actually in 3 days. So is it overbought? Sure, it is short term. And there might be some resistance on a longer term basis going back to 5 3/4, 85. That's my near term target. Riot. Well, Bitcoin stocks are acting great after a long downtrend and breakout in a platform, right-handed extended V, whatever, cup and handle, whatever you want to call it, it broke out. It ran up to the resistance zone and backed off again. Now there's key support just underneath here at 7.5 3/4. But a move across the recent high of 9 3/4 probably gets you to test 10.5 and then 11.5 or better, maybe even as high as 13. So let's go with those two targets for now. We'll see where this goes. Very nice looking chart. And so XL swing trade did well after pulling back for 3 days and holding around the moving average. Note the snapback today with a little gap, 1580 to 1747, finished up on 49. That's a 9.6% gain. Nice gain for an ETF indeed. Key resistance now lies at 18.5, and the next target is 22. TERN put a swing on it yesterday. It really did well today. This is also a top 20 pick of the year. Wonderful chart, targeting 15 and 17. Wave, also a top 20 pick of the year, had a long 3-month falling channel. Today it popped out. The volume wasn't big enough for me, but I did still put a swing on it because I like the price action and the long-term pattern. Looking for a retest at 5 1/4 or a half, and then 7. And finally, XPEV, which we put a swing on it here, and it worked for a couple of days, then pulled back, and for the last 4 months has been in a falling type pullback channel, which basically filled this gap in here. Bounced sharply off of that and has taken out the declining top sign as of today. My target now is a retest of this high around 13. To get through it, 14.5, 15. Let's look at some of the interesting and emerging stocks at detectradio.com, including a few new swings. HB out. Have a great evening. Talk to you tomorrow.